Whoa, that's wild.
So many fun layers of wallpaper that I cannot wait to dig into.
No way. That's clearly the queen.
Yeah.
So many fun layers of wallpaper that I cannot wait to dig into a little bit more carefully once we have more time, because now is not the moment. Now we need to actually start working on opening up that wall.
Whoa! No way. What the heck? That's wild. Laying on the ground? The side quests continue. Alright, that was unexpected.
This is in better condition, yeah.
Yeah, we can just keep it on the plaster for now, okay?
Queen Elizabeth reviews something.
That's clearly the queen.
Yeah.
Wow. That'll help date it for sure.
Well, we now have a gaping hole in our wall, which is exactly as we had planned. But this corner down here actually tells kind of a fun, well, a story. I don't know if it's fun. You can see that several of the lath broke off instead of just pulling off in one piece. Also, the nail heads here are all quite rusty, which is, yeah, just further proof that this corner here was having some water damage. You can see there's also, you know, some more mold coming up and all that. So there's that. Also, that fun little bit of joinery there tells another story as well. So this is also the corner of the house where we had all the foundation problems. We had to rebuild part of our foundation. I'll link the video if you haven't seen it, but that is this corner, and we can see that, you know, there's some issues, some evidence of settling here. So this post right here, the corner of that post, is supposed to be sitting there where it's notched out, and it's not. Don't think we're going to do anything about that. But so now basically we've come to the point that I personally have been procrastinating for a while, and that is taking off the baseboards, because we're gonna have to take off the baseboards to get off all the rest of these planks, and I'm low-key dreading it, but it's that time.
If we cut the baseboard there straight, then you only have this section to remove and maybe mangle. And when you install it, you bundle it.
I don't know that I want to bundle it, though. So many of you commented on the perfection game from the last week's video. Everybody was in the comments joking that playing that game as a child single-handedly gave you anxiety as an adult, so I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity to suggest a game that's going to help you unwind and de-stress without giving you anxiety, and that is Matchmasters. They are sponsoring this week's video, and they're the world's first player versus player match 3 game, and my favorite part of it all, and I cannot stress this enough, is that there aren't any ads. So the goal is to match pieces of the same color and score more points than your opponent. There are lots of powerful boosters to help give you an edge, as well as a bunch of different game modes so you'll never get bored. You can play by yourself, you can play against your friends and family in real time, or you can go head to head against real people from all around the world. It is a great way to wind down after a long day. Like I said, there are no ads and it is completely free to download. But most importantly, it's just a heck of a lot of fun. So if you want to give it a try, you can follow the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right here. That's going to give you exclusive rewards and you can start playing today.
It needs to go up, remember?
Why?
Because it's in the tongue and groove.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a groove in there.
Reader, it was in fact tongue and groove. And what made removing the second plank extra difficult, and what I'm very poorly attempting to show in this clip, is that the hardwood floors were actually installed after the baseboards, and therefore they're covering up the bottom inch or so of the baseboard, which made its extraction very tricky.
The problem is that there's probably one low. I don't know how deep is this blade. This blade goes pretty deep.
Yeah, it should be able to reach it. Oh my God! Finally! Woo! We did it. Nice, nice. Alright, that first one took forever, but hopefully going forward, the next ones are only going to get faster and faster. The good news is we got them out intact. We haven't done any massive damage. There's a tiny little split on one of the baseboards, but that actually came from when we were working on this room previously. So, pretty good news. We just hope we can figure out a way to speed this up going forward. Wow.
So quick reminder why we're taking off the baseboards. It's because we need to remove the rather unique layer of interior sheathing. That's these horizontal running boards here on the exterior walls in order to have access to the stud bays, because there was a lot of water damage to this room, mainly during Hurricane Fiona when part of the roof was ripped off. Remember, that's why we call this room the hurricane room, but also probably prior to that as well. This wall is part of the front facade of the house, which clearly is the side that was built to be the fanciest. It's got the dormers and the bay windows and the giant sunroom windows as well, but all of these fancy architectural features also mean that it's the most vulnerable to water damage. So while I'm sure the hurricane yeeting the roof off didn't help,
I also am pretty sure it's not the only reason there was water damage. And we definitely need to get in there and inspect how much damage there is, how much mold it is, clean out all the blown in, get rid of the mold, all that good stuff. And in order to do that, we need to have full access. If you are one of my crafty viewers, I promised you the making of a certain snail, and that video is finally edited and live up on the second channel. I'll be sure to link it in the video description and on screen at the very end of this video in case you want to check it out. Okay, so it's taken us literal days to get to this point, but I think we are now actually ready to pull off virtually all of the sheathing here. So we've opened this wall up completely. All of the baseboards are gone, all of the supports are gone. So now we have freed up these planks. As you can see, we can take them down in their entirety. I've gone through and labeled them all. I gave up with the duct tape. I just started doing Sharpie straight on the wood because this is never going to be exposed. There's always going to be plaster or sheetrock on top of it. So everything is labeled and we're basically ready to dig in. Yeah, that's why you saw I did the ziggy zaggies on it because I anticipate it's gonna break in half. Definitely gonna put the mask back on though because there's gonna be so much mold in these walls. I don't even want to think about it. We'll say though that these masks proving to be surprisingly more comfortable than I thought. Like Phil and I are both actually enjoying using them as much as one can enjoy using a mask. Okay, so fork, knife in hand, à table, dig in. Let's go. So in an attempt to both control the dust and have some semblance of order, we're only taking off a few planks at a time, we're setting them aside to be denailed and vacuumed, and then we're removing the majority of the blown-in insulation from the cavities. Just whatever we could get by hand without going crazy. As you'll see, we will go back at the end of all this and do another pass with a brush and a vacuum. I don't know about Phil, but I at least was expecting a lot of that insulation to come tumbling out of the wall cavities just as soon as we removed each board, but thankfully most of it was pretty content to stay in its place, although I think we can probably thank the water damage for helping a little bit in that regard. One thing that we didn't really film was what we were doing with these boards once we pulled them off the wall, because some of them are super long. There are some that are probably at least 20 foot long, which I don't know about you, but I don't have that many places in the house to store an entire room's worth of 20-foot long boards, and they were too long to be able to turn any tight corners either. But fortunately, we were able to walk them just outside the room, down the hall, and into one of the bathrooms. It was a straight shot, so we didn't have to turn any corners, and even then, they just barely fit inside the longest hawk dog shaped bathroom.
Yet another wasp nest. Straight shingles, no paper, no nothing.
It's on brand.
It is on brand.
Then, with all the inner planks on this wall finally removed, we opened some windows and started cleaning out the old blown-in. We worked late into the evening, removing all the last little bits of insulation from all those cavities, and by the time we finally knocked off, it was looking so much better. If you want to check out Matchmasters, head to the link in the description and start playing today.
Est-ce qu'on va aller jouer?